Representative Johnson of Knox.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Okay, couple things that I want to bring up. Again, I always have to go back to my experience as an educator, and the kids that I taught for 27 years with disabilities, and really proud of what we did with the Katie Beckett waivers, but we're leaving every one of those kids behind with this bill because the private schools will not accept or choose any of the students that I taught in those 27 years. And there's a lot of other kids just like that they will not accept. If on the off chance that they do accept a few of those, and there's over 100,000 special needs kids in this state, if on an off chance they do, those kids have to sign away their rights as a special needs student to use one of these vouchers. And the reality is, like another representative a couple days ago, I can't stand to hear the term failing schools, because these schools aren't failing. These schools are in struggling communities, and these families are struggling. And so what we need in these schools are smaller class sizes and more social workers. We won't be able to do that if we're taking a few kids out and giving them a voucher. We are taking away the chances and the things that we know works. So many kids go to private school because the first thing you'll see on a private school website, small class size. We're giving that to a few and taking it away from everybody else. How can we use public dollars for schools that won't take all of our children? And I think we do need to keep all of our children in mind. Another thing I think that's really important is I hear a lot of folks say that we've got to do something. That's exactly right. Status quo is not acceptable. But we need to do something that's based in research, because here's what we know. When you compare apples to apples, voucher students using vouchers or ESAs compared to their peers in public school, kids who were in public use a voucher, math scores are lower consistently across the board. Reading scores are statistically insignificant. When you're comparing the voucher students using a voucher, former public school students, math scores less. They thought it maybe was just something you could recoup from, but Arkansas just did a long-term study that said there's no bounce back in those math scores with vouchers. So what we're talking about here is trying something that hasn't been proven to be successful in any other state. And the reality is, if you vote for this bill, you are indeed voting for vouchers in your county. It may not be this year, depending on the constitutionality, but it will be the next year, because no one ever, no state ever passed vouchers without expanding the program. That's the intent. It's been indicated it's the intent. It will be your county. And some of you who are new, who think, well, if it doesn't work, we'll take it away. Look at K-12 Inc. Said that after 3 years, if they did poorly, it would be stopped. We just voted this year to extend it again. And folks, it is the lowest of the low, and it's not helping the kids it's supposed to help. So trying anything, let's try something that's based in research, because if you compare apples to apples, this is not based in research. We have teachers, principals, school board members, all of the experts in education say, no, please don't do this to our children. We're ignoring every expert and thinking that this body knows better. I'm sorry, folks. We need to stick with the experts.